We wake up from our nap after bullying some treemen and find ourselves back at the start of the game. We wrestle with a golden horseman and quickly subdue them for blocking our view of nature, and steal their money. We come to a lake and discover that some cultists summoned a dragon, and we had an intense battle. We poke the leg of the dragon and quickly subdue them for harassment. We continue down a stream and kill some guys who fell off a bridge and discover that someone on some red rocks and challenged us to a big sword contest. We whip out our dong and they faint at the very sight. We go back to Castle Sol and attempt another boss fight before quickly having an IRL power outage that lasted for 4.5 hours. Thankfully we didn't lose the footage but got a sweet 4-hour screensaver in the process. 5 hours later, we resume our progress with a few helpful error messages and die outside the arena as a reminder that we're still playing Dark Souls. We get our runes and fall down an elevator shaft before going back to the Volcano Manor to tie up some loose ends. We put a man down to end their misery of being on fire, but they quickly respawned and tried to kill us for ruining their summer vacation. They eat us out like a vicious tapeworm and we quickly subdue them for harassment. Word got around that we despise tapeworms and we come across a large one who tries to eat us out. Thankfully we have fought many and know their moves and avoid getting munched. We quickly subdue the foul creature and get a few enhancements for our flask, though not very useful to us. We head down some broken bridges and discover that someone nut on some red rocks and challenged us to a big sword contest. We whip out our dong and they faint at the very sight. This time though, we take away their swords so they can't challenge us again. We make our way up to Mount Gilmere and avoid getting caught by the locals who don't like that we've had 2 arms this whole time. We get bombed by some bat and climb up some more ladders before reaching a new site of grace. We go up some air tunnels and find that somebody left their pet in a crater and it morphed into a vicious bull that kills us for home invasion. We try again and this time quickly subdue the beast with our powerful dong and steal their money as compensation. We head to hell and across some red diarrhea. Jesus, come on, man. Before challenging Niall's younger brother O'Neill to a big sword contest. Our trusty Dots Candy assisted in the endeavor and we quickly subdue them for familial damages and conspiracy with familial members. We leave the poopy water and rob some dead bodies before making it to a church where we find a new site of grace. We head to the clubhouse and buy a pouch for our talismans and sell everything we have to make up for even more outstanding HOA fees. We head downstairs to the exclusive zone and discover that someone on some red rocks and challenged us to a big sword contest. We whip out our mighty dong and they faint at the very sight. We head back to the capital and towards the Divine Tower to get full access to our new Great Rune. Unfortunately, we ate too much sand and started to hallucinate our darkest nightmares and have to fight 2 dog murderers to escape. Our expired Dots Candy assists and we quickly subdue them for crimes against dogs. Thankfully it was all just a nightmare and we head into the Divine Tower. We head up a very long elevator and up some stairs to discover that someone left their fingers in the sand. We swap to our new Great Rune and head back to Castle Sol, level up, and head back into the fight. We subdue the monster and steal their leg. We head up an elevator and find that somebody left half of a coin laying in the snow, and we take it with no hesitation. We head to the grand lift of Rolled and hold up our new coin. We find ourselves inside someone's basement torture chamber and quickly find an exit before we're murdered. We pass some enemies and get a new sight of grace before killing the inhabitants. We head up some stairs and find that winter has settled in and that the army of the undead has certainly already made a mess of the 7 kingdoms. We run through the snowy fields and get chased by some large ghosts who want us to join them in the afterlife. We finally make it out of the blizzard and rest at a new sight of grace. We continue forward and discover that someone on some red rocks and challenged us to a big sword contest. Somehow our friend got a new sword and this time we faint at the very sight. We wake up and find that we were robbed and go back for a rematch. Thankfully they nut on some more rocks and this time we get to whip out our mighty dong and they faint at the very sight. We get a super rock and head back to the golden clubhouse where we tell a man to enhance our dong. With our dong at max level we can now truly take in the rest of our challenge and move forward. We discover a town full of ghostly figures and read a book that tells us to go into a jail and murder some statues with fire. We oblige and head into the area. We make our way around and light some statues on fire before getting domed by the locals who kill us for wearing pants this whole time. We head back in and this time kill the locals for harassment before leaving the jail and heading up some stairs. We find a rock and touch it where we awaken in the very definition of Dark Souls hell. We find a new sight of grace and make our way down the smallpox tree that we found ourselves atop. We save ourselves from falling off the map and dodge past some golden bubbles before falling down a few levels and getting a new sight of grace. We continue forward and get attacked by everything that basically moves and run across a bridge to a new sight of grace. We parkour across some roofs and make our way past the locals who try to kill us for trespassing. We hop into a cathedral and open a chest where we get a very useful talisman that gives us a lot of stamina. We avoid the locals who want to share smallpox and activate an elevator for faster travel. We head into a large area and meet up with the manager from the Carrion Manor who wants to kill us for harassment and defamation charges. They quickly subdue us in our expired dots candy, though we came pretty close. We try again and get subdued for trespassing this time. We try a third time and finally subdue them and steal their money before resting at a new sight of grace. We get a few more levels and head down some stairs and eventually a pretty long ladder. We go down an elevator and get an amazing view once more. We quickly subdue the guard at the cathedral entrance and make our way down the city. We dodge some enemies and sneak past a large tree man and parkour across a large gap. We expertly dodge a sword attack and run up some more stairs and parkour into an even bigger cathedral. We make our way across some tree branches and through a diarrhea lake before heading across even more branches and down a drainage channel to a new sight of grace. We walk along the walls of the city and make our way towards a bigger cathedral and possibly die a very dumb way. We head down an elevator and finally have the realization that we're probably going to be here for a long time. It's finally time to face our true nightmare.